Conversation about who gets a payday. Who gets it first? Is there multiple paydays to be handed out this season? We're going to get to that in about 10 seconds. I got to tell you about an opportunity that you have. It is almost summer. Feels like it yesterday and today. That means road trips. Summer road trips are the best. So let your first tank of gas be on us. Enter for your chance to win a daily $50 gas card and a possible grand prize of $1,000. All you got to do is listen for keywords every hour and then text it to 303-713-1043 before that hour ends. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win. For complete rules, visit denversports.com/keyword. denversports.com/keyword. All right, Cecil, it's no secret, and we've talked about it, the guys that are in line that are certainly wanting a contract extension. Courtland Sutton, Zach Allen, and Nik Bonitto. Now, I'm sure there are several other players that if they were listening to this, they'd go, hey, I want a contract extension. Yeah, we all do. But those are the three guys that we're going to highlight, that we're going to talk about the most, and I believe are, in the Broncos' eyes, the three most important players to extend here in the immediate future. So when you and I were kind of hinting at this yesterday, I actually made the comment. I'm like, well, there's the obvious one. That's Courtland Sutton. And you said, you sure about that?
Are we sure about that?
Which led to an interesting conversation that we're now going to have on the air.
Yeah.
And I do feel that way. I feel like Courtland Sutton is the most obvious one because you're going into a second year of, it being not an elephant in the room the way it was last year, but it being very well known that he is underpaid and wants to be compensated properly for his top 10 to 12 production that he's put forth the last couple of years.
Sure.
And it's ironic now I'm here going to make the case for Courtland Sutton when you and I have had the conversation about do you really have to with Courtland Sutton?
All right.
And look, now that I've seen him with a year of Bo Nix, I'm not in the business of paying him $30 million a year, and I don't think you are either.
No.
But 20?
The number's 23.
21, 22, you get to 23, all right, I'll probably ride with you on that. And it's a 2-year deal with guaranteed money, right?
Yes.
That's what I look at this as. And that's kind of why I put him out in the front here. The wide receiver room, sure, I like what they're building. We had the whole conversation about Pat Bryant and what we believe he can be. The ceiling is there for even Marvin Mims. I like Devon Vele. I'm going to hold my breath on Troy Franklin, but willing to give him benefit of the doubt and some runway to figure it out. And then obviously our feelings on Pat Bryant. Young wide receiver room. They need Courtland Sutton right now.
Yes.
Bo needs Courtland Sutton right now.
Yes.
But in 2 years, where will they be? Will Pat have stepped up and played that role? Will Marvin take another step? Will Troy and Vele show up? And they're going to have a whole bunch of money to spend coming up soon, so they might address that room there. But in the meantime, you still need a number one, and that's what Courtland Sutton is. He's not going to break the bank in a major way. Like you said, you give 23, let's call it $48 million guaranteed, and it's a 3-year deal worth 65, something along those lines. You get the 2 years, see where you're at in that third year, and if it's not great, one of these guys have stepped up, you cut bait and say, see you later, thanks for the time served.
Right.
With these other guys, Zach Allen, Nik Bonitto, I believe they're in line as well. They're going to get it. I'm just taking care of Courtland Sutton first and foremost because I need him to be who he is at the highest level to make sure that there is no sophomore slump for Bo right now.
They may not go in that order, though.
Okay.
Sutton would be maybe even the easiest to get done. Sutton would be the cheapest to get done. Zach Allen wants $25 million a year.
Yeah.
Nik Bonitto's probably going to push for around $25 to $30 million a year.
You're right.
So the cheapest and perhaps easiest to get done is Courtland Sutton. But that's not always the way things work out in football or in life. And the thing is, Sutton already did the dance last year. He already negotiated with you last year. Can I have a raise? No. Here's some incentives. He got them all. So I think that would lead the Broncos to go, hey, this guy's easy to work with. He did the dance last year. He showed up in a big way. He hit all of his incentives. Sutton, here's your money. But out there at Broncos rookie minicamp, I was watching Pat Bryant, and I was like, wow. Do they have another number one coming eventually? What does that mean for Courtland Sutton? I believe the franchise tag will be used by this team for next year, and I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure who it is for any of them. Kev, look up the number super quick on the franchise tag for the wide receiver, which I believe is $25 million. And then the pass rusher, it's about $25 million. And then defensive end, it might be like $23 million. They're all roughly the same. So you're going to have an investment, but it's really an investment of time. So Sutton played ball with you, and that doesn't mean that it may be reciprocated in the way that he wants it to be, right? And
So
that's unfortunate for him.
It's in good faith.
Yes.
But it might not be in the faith he wants it to be.
Yeah, the faith might be just franchise tag him.
So for wide receiver, it's 23.9. So
Okay.
we'll just say 24.
Sure.
D end 22 and a linebacker 25.
Okay, so Bonito would be the most expensive to franchise tag. Now the message comes from, where do we see Nik Bonito's deal going? Have we seen the best of blank? Have we seen the best of Nik Bonito? No, we haven't. How close is he to that ceiling, though? Those pick sixes and the fumble recovery for a touchdown, those are great plays. Those don't happen all the time.
No, I wouldn't bank on that stuff.
Right.
I shouldn't say can. I feel confident
Okay.
banking on double-digit sacks for a few more years.
Okay, now I'm going to push you on that because double digit is 10 or more. Is he a 20-sack guy?
No, he's not.
Is he – Shaq Barrett had 19 sacks, I believe, when he led the NFL in sacks. Is he a 19-sack guy?
No, he's not.
Okay. How much double digits?
10 to 15.
Is that enough for $40 million a year? The top pass rushers make $40 million a year. So is 10 to 15, not 17, not 19, but 10 to 15. Is that worth that money? Now, is Bonito asking that? No, we don't know.
We don't know what he's asking, but I would imagine he's going to try to get as much as he can out of the team. That's what you should do.
So is it better to roll the dice? We're going to talk about investments here. Is it better to roll the dice to truly gamble on he's going to be about a 12 to 14 sack guy, but not a 17 sack guy, not a 20 sack guy? Is it enough to roll the dice and be like, you know what? We could push this back, franchise tag him, which gives you till mid-July of next year to get a deal done. And then, oh man, it's $28 million a year. And you go, wow, what a great deal. And he goes, wow, what a great deal, because it's more than the franchise tag. So is that enough of a gamble, or do you gamble and he has 20 sacks and you're like, oh God, we have to pay $40 million now?
Yeah.
And by the way, you might have made him mad by not getting this deal done.
Well, and then if he's at that 20 sack number, even close to it, you're competing with a whole bunch of other teams too.
Whole lot of money. There's going to be a whole lot of money to be thrown around in this league. So that's the conversation. I think it's Sutton or Bonito you're looking at as the next guys up.
Oh, man. That's tough because Jonathan Cooper is not Nik Bonito. Jonathan Cooper's a solid player. He's a solid piece,
right?
But he is not Nik Bonito, and I don't think he ever will be. I don't think that ceiling is there for a guy like Jonathan Cooper to be a double-digit sack guy regularly like I feel about Nik Bonito.
Is Jonah Ellis that guy? Because Jonah Ellis is
he's halfway there in 1 year.
Exactly. Let's say Jonah Ellis gets 9 sacks this year, and Bonito gets 12.
Well, let me ask you this. I guess to strip it down to its simplest form. Building a football team, what matters more to you, a pass rusher or a wide receiver?
Pass rusher.
Same.
Sorry, Court. As the guy that's back court this entire
he's been
time.
your guy this whole time.
I mean, if you look at it just from that perspective, like what's more important? Now we have the Zach Allen conversation. And if Vance Joseph, if this defense is number 1 in the league, the best defense in the league resides in Denver, Vance Joseph's getting a head coaching job. And if that's the case, does Zach Allen want to go with him?
Yeah, I mean, the reason Zach Allen's asking for $25 million and feeling comfortable that he'll get it is because of Vance Joseph.
Yeah, and the Broncos took a chance on Zach Allen, paid him a bunch of money when he was the guy like, oh, he's benefiting from J.J. Watt, Morgan Freeman voice. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It's him. It's him. He's worth $25 million a year.
I mean, if we did the same question of what's, building a football team, wide receiver, interior defensive lineman, or pass rusher,
it's
Zach
still
Allen's
interior
last-
defensive lineman.
Yeah.
It's interior defensive lineman. It's pass rusher. It's anybody that can affect the quarterback. Now, the wide receiver affects the quarterback because he catches the passes, but Tribe, what do you think? Who gets paid first? Bonito, Allen, Sutton? 303-713-1043.
Yeah, and Kevin asked a fair question, too. How much did Bonito benefit from a guy like Zach Allen? Yeah, I don't.
Vaughn did with Derek Wolfe. I always said Derek needed a little bit of that Vaughn money because Derek took a hometown discount and Vaughn got super paid, and a lot of Vaughn's production came off work that he did with Derek.
Yeah, ask Derek. He'll tell you he needs some of that money, too. All right, we'll revisit it. Yeah, Tribe, let us know. How do you put that pecking order together from position or player perspective? Let us know at 303-713